hello.
Woo!
I won't say what I'm doing to my smudge stick, but I'm blowing on it. Hello, everyone. How are you all? How is everyone?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I had a sort of an intense morning, but not anything I really talk about. But yeah, I'm good. Now I'm good.
I'm smudging. Lots of
Oh, good. I need some
Can you
smudge. Yeah.
smell it? Yeah.
I haven't smudged enough, actually. I need to do some more smudging. I've got a tooth abscess and a sty in my eye, but I'm styled. Sorry.
Apart from that, you're fine. Yeah. So you were going to start today, weren't you, Rachel?
Yes. Well, do you know, it's there are loads of things happening, and it's rather wonderful to see. And I think one of the biggest things for the UK, you know, Diana is been in, you know, many people's hearts for such a long time. And there was a double page spread of her in the newspaper just recently. So what I wanted to find out, I mean, it was all about basically the Charlie chap, Mr. Charlie, Mr. Prince, he was questioned basically in 2005, and it was actually giving a load of answers in the main news, which was quite amazing, because you know, so many people just don't know you know, what really went on. So thank you. Yes. I wasn't quite sure what we could say or what we couldn't say. But yeah, so I'd love to ask some more questions around that. And is this, because I think this is potentially the wake up for specifically the UK, and that would be so lovely to hear if it really is, if that's their tactic. Because
Yeah. And I was just listening to Mel, and then that letter that is a K. I was just listening to her, and she was really going into this where the UK is the next big focus wake up. They're the last ones that they really want to focus on. And I think it's been working, actually, what with that ex-police officer doing what he's doing, and that went literally viral. And I'm happy to have helped that. I was pushing it, and so were lots of really good people. And as far as I'm concerned, I've seen a lot of evidence that they're really going to be rolling out things for sleeping UKers. So I agree with you that is exactly what's going on. And so let's have a look, see what the cards want to say about it.
I mean, she is appearing so much at the moment, which is really lovely to see.
It's going to be really lovely if she appears even more.
Yeah, I did a video on that. It would have just went up, I think, and it's around what's happening on July 1st, her birthday. Right, she turned 60, so that's kind of part of it is she's would have turned 60, or is turning 60, depending on who you believe, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people are rumored that she might be stepping out from behind that curtain instead of the actual statue, which is what I looked at, actually. So you'll have to go look at the video.
Yeah.
Find out. Okay, let's see what we got.
Oh, wow.
The sun and yeah, it is absolutely what's going on. It's absolutely like they've infiltrated the UK papers and the UK media, you know it. Yeah, it's absolutely what's going on. Yeah, and it was really hard to do. I think they had a really hard time wrestling these guys down because this is the past. Okay, and now there's all kinds of strategy. You're going to see it. We've already started to see it, but all kinds of strategic things placed, and it'll ramp up. So they're doing sort of what the deep state was doing to us for all of our lives, okay, and lots of other people, like for lifetimes, and now they're doing it right back at them, where they're sneaking in truth, brutal truth, right? And yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's good. Things are going to get more and more. So the strength card, it'll strengthen as it goes on. So you'll see bigger and bolder things.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. That is so good.
We're so ready, aren't we, Rachel? We're so ready. We're weary. We're ready. Come on, Di.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be much else that's waking them up at the moment.
No, there just doesn't seem to be. I don't know what's going on. There must be something in our water. That's all I can say. There's got to be something in our water. So, wow, we're ready for you. You can come round to mine, Di, for strawberries and cream and champagne, and we can catch up.
I love your feather.
Your first question is a little bit of fun, really. It's something I saw at the beginning of the week or over the weekend, and I thought, oh, I must ask Janine about this. So Jeff Bezos has been really going on all the social media. Oh, look, I'm setting on fire now. Has been saying that he's going up next week into space in his rocket. Is he really going up in space next week in his rocket? And if so, can I arrange for him to stay there, please? So.
Yep.
I love it. Arrange for him to stay there. I love it.
Well, he's absolutely going somewhere, but it's secret where he's going. And it has something to do with, I'm thinking, processing. I think that's a signal that he's leaving the Earth plane through processing.
Because if they've got, I did strike me, because there was all this news coming out and his interviews of him doing it. And apparently he's invited his brother on the rocket as well. And I thought, what a perfect scenario for him to leave the Earth plane as a hero, pretending that he's gone up to space. It could be the perfect cover story, couldn't it, for him disappearing?
That's what they're up to. But when the truth comes out, we'll, in retrospect, get to put it together where he really went.
Yeah. Yeah. There were a lot, I won't even write down this word, but there were some really funny memes going around about the shape of the rocket.
Oh, yeah.
What he was getting into. So, but you could use your imagination for that.
Yeah.
I won't write that down. It'd be too
Okay. I got it.
Oh, thank
Phallicable.
you. Pardon?
Phallicable.
Yeah, exactly.
Right on.
In the nicest possible way. Goodness me. Well, that's, yeah, their symbols will be their downfall, I think.
Yeah.
More
Did
than
you
anything.
ladies, speaking of symbols, did you ladies see that picture of the Swedish government? A big crowd of them walking down an alley or something. Really wonderfully taken photograph, by the way. It was fascinating. But there was this arm on the right-hand side of the photograph when you looked at it, that was just swinging into the photograph, and all you saw was the tattoos on the arm.
Yeah.
And they were clearly signaling dark cult / deep state affiliation. Interesting. And the arm was the most front thing in the photograph, not a body, just the arm with all those tattoos that clearly showed what in the background that Swedish government was all about.
Wow.
Talk about blatant.
Yeah.
They so are though, aren't they? I mean, they get away with it constantly.
No, that was a white hat op blatancy. They were showing who these guys were in the background.
Right. Interesting.
Because apparently the Swedish government is. Yeah.
Very much so.
Actually, speaking
in
of
trouble, we'll say.
Yeah, but speaking of symbols, there was some photographs, and it was apparently a place in Wellingborough in the UK, and these buildings are being currently built at the moment in construction just near the end, but it looks like some kind of, I suppose, prison camp or concentration camp or something. It looks awful. It looks so, it's all grey concrete built up blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And I wondered if it is I think it doesn't look like a goodie side of things that's happening. It does look baddie-ish.
And where is this again?
Wellingborough in the UK. And there's lots of cross-shape buildings, but it's quite a bizarre. There's lots of aerial photographs.
Interesting.
Mm.
Okay, so it started out as a baddie. So nefarious intent in the background, okay, and dysfunction and nefarian. Okay, but I feel like it's been recently, so the photographs were, looks like leaked by good guys in order to speed up people's awareness of what was planned for them. So it's part of the disclosing these guys. It was absolutely created originally though by these guys. And it's being exposed by the good guys as something these guys were going to utilize. These guys being, yeah, them.
Wow.
Those associated with, yeah.
The noughties.
Yep.
It's a bit like those underneath the car parks in America.
Letting out truth to the masses, letting out the truth to the masses of what was planned for us. That's what's going on, you guys, a giant op to do that.
Right.
Do you remember all those leaked videos about underneath the car parks? Something Mart, the supermarket in America.
Oh, really? What, Walmart?
There you go. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, Walmart's really nefarious for a lot of those shipping containers, evergreen types, end up straight at Walmart. So they figure that's a processing center, what the bad guys were processing.
Wow.
Like
interesting, because I think there were lots of body bags ordered underneath those car parks.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, yeah. So it's been revealed and it's been taken over. That's really good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the smudging. We're gonna need it.
Okay. So my next one, I'll be careful I say this. So last week we spoke a bit because I've had so many, I'm asking this one because I've had more people message me about this than anything else. So last week we spoke about the BA pilots who was supposedly after having the, and we saw that there was some truth to that. So I've actually got a part A and part B to this question. So part A, is this baddie plan to stop people from traveling, as in making the pilots have because then there'll be so much fear around it that people won't want to fly?
Yeah, okay. I asked, what's the agenda around releasing that info, the way they're doing it? There's obviously an agenda. So what are they up to here? Well, it's not quite, they don't want you to fly. It's more like they're putting it out there that the opposite. So everyone's getting these things to be safe and the opposite's happening. So they're trying to wake people up to think, flip it, reverse it. What you thought was going to make you safe actually puts you in danger, both on the air, in the air and on the ground. Like they're just putting it out there as further showing you the dangers of doing this thing that's been pumped as right action.
That's really, that's the best possible answer, because that would imply that then that's the goodies. Are we allowed to say the coloured hat, the white?
Yep, you can still say that.
So, we're so paranoid now, everyone. We have to be, because honestly, we just have to be so safe here. So pardon all the little cryptic clues. So that's brilliant, Janine, because that would really look like the white hats are in control of that then.
Yeah.
So my part,
that is who. Yeah.
Brilliant. So my part B of the question would be, actually, would then actually something like BA be one of the safest ones? Because if they're aware of this issue, then they're going to have to take action to counteract it. So I would imply that I would imagine that will be one of the safest ones to fly with.
Yep, you're getting a yes on that.
Interesting. They've got so many rules and regulations now about flying that I wouldn't want to take the risk.
I'm thinking I'm just getting this really clear, so I just have to say it. Some of those stories about 4 in a row and 5 of these and 2 of these, they're exaggerated.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so you know.
Good. That's really good news. Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these guys are doing it. You know who these guys are. That's Mr. T and his gang.
Phew. That's really good. There's a lot of concerned people who really do need to fly away. So yeah, that's good news that's exaggerated. Thank you. I like that answer.
Well, the biggest news ever has come out in terms of this. So he was head of Chinese military intelligence. So this is his name. I don't know. Have you heard this story?
Are you talking about he's in the US now?
Well, we don't know where he is. I think there's all sorts of different stories as to where he is. But he was essentially the same as Putin before he became president, as in this is the clout that he has.
Okay.
Now he has, I mean, it's not, I suppose, information that's gathered within 3 months, but yeah, 15 million pages worth handed over.
Yes. I heard that.
Yeah, so it was in the Mel.
I've got it. Don't worry, I'm an assistant today.
I love you. Brilliant, excellent teamwork. I love it. Goodness me, cryptic or what? So I'd love to know, is this the news? I mean, it is literally going to sort out all of Mr. T's enemies, isn't it, really? Every single, I mean, it's the UK, it's the whole world is just going to be completely and utterly dogged in.
So he's absolutely come over and working with the US, good, what I call the shadow government in the US.
Wow.
So Mr. T, the shadow government all over the world used to be the deep state. Now it's all switched. That's what I believe. So now there's shadow governments in every country and they're puppeting these other people. And we're starting to see the results of it in Sweden, for instance. So look up what's going on there. And we saw it in Germany, and just people don't talk about it anymore. Like they're just limping along with this pretendency, as Jean-Claude likes to call it. It's a great word, pretendency.
Yes.
So they're limping along. Yeah, but it's like, even like they said, Boris Johnson, people were saying his last sort of speech, and it might have been the second last or something by now, but people were writing me saying he looked absolutely like 3 sheets to the wind, apparently, on his last thing. And he was just like, so like not really even believing what he was saying and stuff. Yeah, so probably had to, even his potential clone, double, or actor probably had to drink heavily before he even said what he had to say there.
Yeah.
Goodness me. Well, what happened was he went to this agency, because we're not allowed to say these things. So, but this is defense, and then intelligence, and then obviously the agency.
Yeah.
But that was created by Mr. T's, guys, and so he didn't go to the. Yeah, He went to the best one.
He's gonna be a huge like processing tool. They're gonna use that stuff to process. So this is karmic justice and justice. That's huge. That's a major arcana. That's what's gonna come out of it. But they gotta keep him safe. He's in a really big danger.
Wow, yeah.
Minute by minute. They're gonna try to keep him safe as possible. He did this quite a while ago, is what I'm getting. This is just coming out now. So they got so much stuff from him. This isn't new. We're just hearing about it.
No way.
Yeah, because you've got the biggest surveillance nation in the whole world trying to find him. So it's quite some task for them. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Wow, that's really, really good news. There is so much coming out at the moment, but of course not for, people. One, they've got to know where to look, and I don't know what about you ladies, but there's so much coming out. Trying to keep up with it all is almost a full-time job, isn't it? So, wow. So, right, we have had quite a few people have contacted us to say that in the UK over the last couple of weeks in different areas, so in isolated areas, they've had emergency alerts done. So is this being done by the white hats? Emergency alerts on their mobiles. So is that being done by the white hats? And if so, are we going to see a sort of either countrywide or worldwide announcement soon? Same thing coming up, but a lot more people in the UK in very isolated patches have been having tests. I haven't had one yet. Have you, Rachel?
No, but I have heard of them going around. More so for Android, bizarrely.
Oh.
They're putting it in place for the eventuality of needing to. It's good guys, so it's what we call good guys and people working for the good of humanity. So that sounds like our good guys. And there could be a lot of different, like maybe we can't lump them all together and call them just the white hats or just the alliance or just. I think there's a lot of areas, and like there's whoever's infiltrating. UK is what they're really focused on, is what that Mel woman said.
Yeah.
She was on Nicholas Veneman's show. So anyway, she did a great, great, you and her, like it's great. She's bringing it, right? Love it. Anyway, what she was saying, and some other people are saying, is that there's a big focus and drive because they were the last ones to really push for. So I'm really happy that we're seeing it there because this bunch always said they were going to be, maybe the last to wake up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because they got the royal family, like who is some of the biggest dark players, and there's so much love for them. So that's going to be hard with the cognitive dissonance sort of stuff, right? It's going to be hard to wake those guys up. But they also said things going on in, I think it was Israel. But once we saw that, but they also said waking up the UK was going to be a big sign. We're close to the end. So we got some real big signs that we're really close to rolling the credits on this movie. Well, I cannot wait. I gotta tell you.
Honestly,
could we roll the credits, please, and see who's been playing all of these characters? Like it's just,
I spoke to the Mel woman yesterday, just before Nicholas did, and we were covering that in mine. But of course, that's on the alternative platforms. So
Yep.
Fantastic. So well, it's a good start, isn't it? But feel free to hurry up, everyone.
Feel free to wakey.
Yeah, I think they're snoring and they're all tucked up quite nicely. I'd love to ask Janine the purpose of the UK extending the lockdown. we've gone from the 21st of June to the 21st of July. Because it can't just be to wake people up. It must be this dangling carrot. I don't know what the cards are going to say.
So it's a lie. It's not true. It's false information. Okay, this is all going to be sidestepped within, I'm thinking days or weeks. I've been getting this solid, so I'm just sticking to it. That card says all of that is they're going to walk right through a gateway over here. It's going to be done. That's the end of a whole plateau of something and the beginning of. So they're making it look like you're at the beginning of and hinting towards all winter. Okay, there's going to be this because things passed in Parliament. Okay, I just want you guys to remember this. A bunch of things passed in Canadian Parliament as well. One right in the middle of the night that took away the last little tiny shred of our free speech here. Okay, wow. Just totally wiped it out, and in a totally illegal move right in the middle of the night with no, so so what do you think's going on? The fear. So remember my road trip? So you're being shown the speeded up version of what they had planned, speeded up so much that they couldn't get away with it. Actually, they wouldn't be able. So this is all fear. And then the P, and then, okay, I think I got that word. There it is. There it is. They're doing this.
One I prepared earlier. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're doing that. Okay. And they're doing it because this is the last push to anybody else they can sort of shake up. They will. Okay. And think about it. So if all of the people, so if the governments have actually been capitulated, okay, which is apparently true, okay, and the royal families capitulated, okay, if that's true, and everything we know on the back channels, if any of that, even 10% of that's true, we got a whole bunch of actors, clones, who knows, and or doubles, okay, making these big changes, government changes, taking away your rights. None of that's going to hold once people find out where the real people are and who's really in charge, et cetera, et cetera. All of that gets wiped out. Think about it. If a person playing Trudeau put that bill through, what do you think's going to happen to it? It's not going to hold, you guys. So you got to remember that. This is that word, that P word, fear, and that P word. That's what they're doing. And they're doing it on purpose to get the last shreds of people they can to go, something's weird. Also, when people look back, so that'll be really important. When they find out tribunals have been taking place, things are going on. When they find all of this stuff out, can you just imagine? They can point back and say, here's what they were up to. We were showing you that. This is why we had to take this action. I really believe they're covering their butts for the future.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Wow.
I just think, as you were saying that, I so wish I looked like one of these people, because can you imagine what a great acting gig that would be? You could really have some fun doing one of those parts, wouldn't it? I'd like to actually play Boris Johnson. Hopefully I'd have to put on a fat suit. But, you could really have, you could slip in a few things of your own, couldn't you? And have a real laugh with that. So my next one, so I know I saw you share it, Janine, and I know it's been going around everywhere. The ex-policeman called Mark Sexton, who we saw videoing, reporting, going to the police and reporting the government in the UK for against. It was absolutely brilliant video. I think everyone sort of shared it very far and wide, even though they keep taking it down. What I'd like to ask the cards is, will anything come of that? Because a lot of people have seen that now.
Before I moved up north, that's exactly where I lived. It'd be lovely to meet him and shake his hand and
Yeah,
give him a hug and
me
say
too.
thank you.
Yeah. So it's definitely being shut down and repressed. He was absolutely being led by the light to do that. He was karmically, and his life purpose, that's part of his life purpose. So he's literally like spiritually led, even if he wouldn't see it that way, to do what he's doing. And he's got a whole bunch of guide energy and spirit world protection, by the way.
Wow.
That's good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I feel that too. And I'm not bragging or anything. I'm just saying, I feel really protected because I know I'm doing exactly what the universe, and I think you two are as well. And I could say a handful of people that are still at it here and I'm not saying the ones that got shut down because they're being made examples of, so they're part of it too, but people that are meant to be doing and what they're doing are doing it, you know what I mean, in the truther community, and it's karmic and just. So that goes for all of us in the community, you know what I mean, who are really given their all to bring truth. So if that's what you're doing, if you're doing it even in just on your Instagram or just talking to people, at all of that, I'm talking about all of those people. We're all karmically meant and protected. So just try to stay aligned with that. When I feel fearful, I just stay aligned with, you know what, if I'm doing truly what's in my soul to do, then I'm going to be protected. You have to believe that for it to be true. Like that's, remember, we're all energy, right? So we have to vibrate to the right energy. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, so it'll look like nothing happens. And, but the biggest thing that happens is that a whole lot more people wake up who are sitting on the fence who saw that. A whole lot more people, because that guy's relatable. Think about it. He's relatable on a real grassroots level.
Yeah.
You know, because to be honest, some of the stuff we talk about might not be relatable to some people sitting on the fence who don't want to don't, you know what I mean? This guy, and he shows proof, and no, he's doing things from a different angle. He goes through all the processes and utilizes the legal system, what's left of it, you know what I mean? And, or tries to anyway, or whatever. So he's actually, and he knows exactly who to bring it to and everything, because he's on a grassroots, ground level, boots on the ground, and that people really need that. That just makes common sense, and people really need that. So there's a whole bunch of people going to wake up because of him, and that's the thing it was supposed to do. Exactly.
He knew the right words exactly to say, doesn't he? He speaks their language, because obviously he's the next policeman, but
it's so calm. You see, what I love about it is there's no sensationalism. He's so calm and eloquent the way he puts it across. That, you know, you listen, because sometimes when you get very passionate about a subject, it can actually really put people off and look too biased. So what a fantastic job he's done. If anyone knows him, please just, I think there's a very lot of very grateful people out there for him. So thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ooh. So next is quite exciting too, because I'd love to know if this is true. So Iran Press TV news website has been seized by what we think is the goodies. So I'd love to ask that, but there is a part of an A-B side to this as well. So clarifying that these are the good guys that have seized this news channel in Iran, that would be really good. Do you want me to go to the second question or wait?
Just hang on here. Let's oh yeah. So clarity is yes, the good guys.
Ooh.
And that was a really hard task.
Yeah.
So they must have felt the need to really tackle those guys. Whereas I think they've been infiltrating in all kinds of other countries, but I feel like they couldn't infiltrate, so they had to take, this is more drastic.
Wow, okay.
A more drastic action. But I feel like going forward, they're going to flip it and make it look like they're going to somehow expose these guys with that. So what's your second part? Maybe it'll make sense.
Can I say the? I need to write just in case. This one.
Yeah.
Because Iraq was due to be first, and then Iran, but also Israel's Press TV has also been taken down today.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so it's it's really starting now, isn't it? But I'd love to know if that is part of the dominoes.
Okay.
Of the. This is so cryptic and ridiculous.
No.
Oh, well, it was absolutely in a system that was dysfunctional, corrupt, and doing a lot of harm with their dysfunction and corruptness, which is why it had to, that's the surrender card they had to take, because they must have had some plan they knew about, or were doing something about to do something really drastic. They took drastic action. I feel like they didn't really want to do it this way, but it was, maybe they were trying to stop that Q thing you just put up there.
Yeah.
And then that F. Okay, that thing. Okay, I know this is getting cryptic crazy, right? Is everybody still following who's watching?
I know. Please don't all get cross with us in the comments. We're doing the best we can.
Yeah, we are. But I feel like, yeah, they had a plan that was gonna do this so that against humanity little sign you have, they were gonna do that really bad to a lot of people. Okay, so I feel like this had to happen. So it might eventually be part of the dominoes, but this feels like it was done to counteract some plan they heard about. So I think it's more complicated than that.
Ooh.
I think it was a drastic action they felt they had to take quick. I think they were planning on doing it the other way, like they did all the other ones, like they're doing. They're just slowly, but I feel like they had to sort of get on top of something that was going to hurt a lot of people.
Wow.
Because I mean, that is so exciting that things like this are happening now. I mean, there is so much big news. I mean, this Chinese chap is really big, but then news channels for these big countries.
Yep.
It's starting to happen, ladies. I'm getting all excited.
I'm going to have to drive out and get some more wine. I've run out. After this, I'm going to have a glass of wine tonight. So, right. My next question was sent in by a couple of viewers. So, apparently in August in the UK, in Lancashire, at a place called Astley Hall, it's a follow-up to the G7 summit. There's something called the G7 speakers event. So that's the speakers of the House. So it's people like Nancy Pelosi and the equivalent people from France, Italy, the EU, Germany, the UK. Now, apparently this place is on some very important, where they're holding it. There's always significance to where they're holding it, like there was in Cornwall. So is that planned as a nasty ritual to be having it there, is part A, and part B is, will it go ahead? Because I'm hoping by August it won't. We don't want Nancy over here. Thank you.
No, absolutely.
Don't even worry, it wouldn't be her anyway. It hasn't been her for a long time, but I know what you mean. So what's the date on it?
It's August. The only thing I know is in August, but I don't know when in August, unfortunately. And so it's a follow-up. So instead of the sort of the prime ministers or the heads, it's now all the speakers that meet up and follow up to do their.
It's a good guy op.
Right.
So that's good. And that Mel woman.
Yeah.
she talked about that the whole G7, she totally confirmed from her end, and she's got a lot of political ties that I wouldn't have at all, even remotely. So I just use the cards, you know what I mean? And, you know, look into what other truthers say. That's ultimately what I do. I read and look at things and then look at the cards. That's all I do. I don't have any intel. Nobody's given me intel except my my viewers. They give me all kinds of cool intel, right? But I have no clue if that intel's legit till I have a look at it, or how my gut feels, and then I have a look at it. So that, you know, that's just how simple it is for me. But she has truly connections. We know that. Okay, and she said the whole G7 was exactly, she confirmed exactly what I also got, which was it was a huge psyop from the good guys. Okay, so that's continued with this speakers meeting or whatever platform is also that. So it's actually likely a bunch of good things might have happened by then already, because I feel like it'll be more of a celebration for the good guys than what it's appearing to be. So maybe they'll utilize that time set aside to maybe let some people in on what's been going on or something. I don't know, but it does definitely looks like it's more of a celebration for the good than it is a bunch of speakers you don't like getting together talking about things you don't like. That's the good news.
On some ley lines which are really significant spiritually.
Yeah,
that's really good news, because we don't want to be waiting till August. Thank you, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, I've written it.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So that I'd love to find out. Now I don't know if the cards will tell us, but if this may happen in July. I feel like we're building up. We really are. And we're literally, this is the end of June pretty much, isn't it now?
Yep.
One more week left.
Mm-hmm. So we've got good guys and army. So the good guys army, so the alliance, and these are good people, because not all military are good, of course, we know that. Okay, but these are good and integral military that are associated with what we call the alliance or the white hats. Okay, so that is definitely what that system that you put the name up of is. Okay, that system, that broadcasting system. Okay, it's owned by these guys, or it's been put in place by these guys, the good guys. So that's good news. Okay, and the fact that it's popping up in various different places and people are saying weird, all of a sudden we've got one put in place and they're testing it. Okay, all of that's good. Yeah, because they definitely want to use it. I had several times they were going to roll it out, and they've been waiting for the right time. So this card's like slowly but surely it's coming. So this card's a slow, sure. So a whole bunch of things had to fall first before they want to do that. And what a lot of people are saying is, sort of people in the know, sort of politically, how political things work and how military operations work, people like that know those things. They're saying that Mr. T needs it, if it rolls out, because all of that information would be broadcast. Apparently for days, they were going to tell everybody, you know, a percentage of what's been going on, which will be absolutely mind-blowing for a lot of people, in particular talking about what the dark cult's been up to, and the position of elites in the world, and sort of like that satanic stuff, right? So the real reason why actually all of this is happening, because it all rolls back to that. It all rolls back to, there's this group that ultimately are the bankers of the world, or have been, blah, blah, blah. So everything stems from, that group.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I feel like when people hear that, so it's not even going to be political anymore. It's going to be literally, because what really Mr. T and the White Hats are about is saving the kids. Hello. And so many people have no clue, saving our own children and our own self from an underlying dark evil practice that's been going on since the beginning of time, and also the cover up of almost every system and the infiltration of every system. Every system is being utilized for those elites to gather their food. humans used as food. And there's, and like, so when people find even 20% of that out, can you imagine? Like, that'll be horrifying. So they need it to be a time when they feel confident that Mr. T is not going to be demonized for it.
Yeah.
And blamed. It has to be, they're gauging when people are ready to actually, when the tipping point, actually happens, like Scott McKay's show called The Tipping Point, when they're on that tipping point where it won't be all blamed on Mr. T. They're making sure. That's what I've been hearing from,
yeah,
people that know those kind of political moves and stuff, right? Yeah, they want it to be so he's actually doing what he's really doing, which is actually good, and not demonized for it. And that's why they're waiting on that system rolling out. Okay. But they absolutely want to roll it out. Like, but they check every day to make sure it's not going to be taken wrong. So they're gauging sort of the energies out there and receptivity of how that'll be taken. Wow. I don't know how they're gauging that, but that's what they're doing.
Wow. Yeah, it's so complex and so complicated, isn't it? We all joke about why is it taking so long, but the layers and layers and layers of how everything's all webbed together is just out of this world. And the reality is that all the supply chains and everything, the way the world's set up now, you can't just crash all this down without having something in the background to do it. Otherwise, people literally wouldn't have food, water, heat.
Yeah. Like, remember that, so he was a Jewish fellow. So I just shared this on my Twitter. Okay, so it's that thing, it's been around for years and years and years, the interview on the radio with this fellow who's like, I think they say he's a rabbi of some kind, but we know that like what Juan O'Savin says, going back to, they took on Judaism, but they're actually not literally Jewish. Okay, so they're what is that very beginning? So Cain and Abel. So they're Canaanites, really. Okay. Yeah, they're from the line of Cain. So let's go all the way back there. But this guy that's known in the world as a Jewish rabbi, he literally lays out everything they've been doing, how they even make the A substance, which I call the party substance. He talks about that. This was in the something like 20 years ago, at least. Right. So this guy interviews him, and I don't even know how that guy even agreed to be interviewed. And he lays it all out, and it's literally like everything that's we know now. Wow. Okay, so that's been out there for years, but did anyone think it was true? Right. He literally even explains how what they do with the remains after they utilize the babies and children for the substance, that's the party substance. Okay, so what they do is they, put it in the supply of what we're eating and calling meat. Okay, and he also says they ship it off. So people working in these slaughterhouses, etc., have no idea that they're involved. And fast food restaurants are getting cheap beef. Okay, so that's been out there for that many years. Is anybody paying attention? I've been sharing that every time I see it going around. I can't believe it hasn't been scrubbed off the internet, but people, thank goodness, save it and then recirculate it. Okay.
Hugely. Absolutely.
Oh. Yeah, he lays everything out. You want to know anything about what they've been up to? That guy tells everything.
I'm going to have to go on Twitter now. I'd stopped using Twitter. I'm trying to cut down the amount of time. But yeah, I'm going to have to go and have a look at that. Definitely. Wow.
Well, I shared some people couldn't find that video of the police chap. So yeah. I shared it on the channels that it was actually still live in Telegram on your Twitter. Oh,
good.
Good grief.
Wow.
Oh, I'm a bit speechless now. Okay, so My final question, I've got two. Which one should I go for? I've had a couple of people ask me, apparently, the Prince boy called, apparently had some sort of bad accident when he was 8. And rumor has it that at that stage, the original one was swapped out for another one.
That would explain so much.
Yeah. So could we ask if that's true? And then I suppose the part B would be what's happened well, let's see what that says first, whether that's true or not.
Goodness me. That's interesting.
And that's interesting because how old was he when his mother?
He was older. He was a teenage, must have been early teens, because I think Harry was about that sort of age.
Because do you know what I got recently when I channeled Princess Diana, because so many people were curious or even mortified how she could, if she was still with us, how could she leave those boys? Yeah. And what she told us was rather eye-opening. She said that, well, her children were no longer hers. I took it as they were taken over by the dark cult and the training, but maybe she literally meant that.
Yeah. I need to look up. I'll have to look up exactly how old he was, but I know, Harry was pretty young. Whilst you're looking at that, I'll Google that.
Yeah.
Not Google.
Yeah, they were taken over by the firm.
So the information is correct.
Wow.
The information is correct. So we've got truth and justice here, and then temperance. So it's really well aspected. And it's only coming out now because it's good timing somehow. Nobody might have heard it any earlier than that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So then he was replaced by another boy.
Who does look remarkably like who everyone said his father was, which I think was Juan Carlos of Spain or something.
Yeah. So that's interesting, hey?
Yeah, it is
very. So they swapped him out. Now, nothing here says, I get he was taken somewhere and put with a family. I don't get he did actually pass over, though. None of my cards are saying passing over. So the original is taken and put somewhere. So isn't that interesting? And that would make a lot of sense to what Diana's sort of divulged.
Yeah.
Wow.
It would have made it a lot easier for her to leave or pretend to leave or whatever she did in that circumstance, knowing that she wasn't literally technically leaving her sons.
Exactly.
Kind of explains a lot of stuff, doesn't it?
It does explain an awful lot of stuff, doesn't it? But it doesn't, I suppose, well, there's so many questions around that, because you think, why would they have done that? There must be something significant, very significant, with who they swap them out with.
They got the proper bloodline, or they've got, or they're more not as resistant. Some children are very resistant to being altered. Maybe the original was too resistant. Right. And then all those weird stories around Harry's not the original Harry because his hair went from being one way to another. And, so there's that. Okay. So I'll just say, though, when I looked into that one Harry that was ended up in Ireland in that, terrifying, situation that he ended up in, a lot of people thought that was the original Harry, and he thought that was too. And actually, I did an in-depth look at that with the cards quite a while ago, before I was even like red pilled. Okay. So I didn't have any agenda whatsoever. I couldn't have possibly, right? I knew nothing about anything. And I looked at, and I went, okay, well, actually, it looks like he was altered in some way, brainwashed to believe he was, and he was one of many or several that they were considering using, and then dropped the idea. So he believed he was the real Harry because he was probably MK altered, now that I know. And then others were also in a program like that. That's what I got before I knew any of this.
Wow.
So it may not directly be the original, but he thought he was, and he was being prepared to be. But that means other ones were as well. So they
Yes.
likely swapped them out too.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a whole nother video. I think
this is a whole nother series, but that is really, really fascinating.
blockbuster on this channel.
Yeah, it opens up so many questions. Oh my gosh, that would be for next week. So fantastic.
Each worm is a can of worms.
Oh my goodness. So, mind blown.
Completely mind blown. I'm definitely going to get that. Now, we've got some exciting news, ladies. I'll write this down. So we will be next week, the three of us ladies here will be doing a round table with the amazing this lady. So that's going to be next Tuesday. And then we'll decide where we put it and how we let you know where it is and everything, because unfortunately this lady will not be on here. So, but it's going to be really, really good. You know, just a really good chat round table between all of us. So I will keep you informed on how you can watch that and see it. So it's going to be great to get you two together. It's just going to be amazing. I can't wait.
Awesome.
So thank you so much for putting that into your very, very busy schedule. So, wow, gosh, I am actually quite blown away by today, aren't you, Rachel?
I'm totally blown away.
It's amazing, absolutely amazing. You know, people send these questions in, and a lot of the questions I asked today were ones that the viewers have sent in. So please do you know, keep those coming. But when you look at them, sometimes I'm almost tempted to sort of dismiss them, and then you ask them, and it comes out with something like this.
That is unbelievable. It puts everything in perspective.
It really does. It really
in all of these different areas that were just a little too didn't make sense. A mother as loving as she was, but then when I channeled that and she said they weren't her boys anymore, now I'm thinking she meant literally.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Wow.
And for waking up the rest of all the sleepyheads everywhere in the world, you know, this is obviously on its way. It will be.
Can't wait.
I know, I really can't.
Well, thank you so much, as always. Thank you so much, Rachel. Janine, thank you so much. You're absolutely on fire at the moment. This is absolutely brilliant. So we will look forward to speaking next week.